The Arc Raiders Discord is rife with discussion about gear-based matchmaking, with some people swearing that something's up with the matchmaking, while others are referring back to Embark's official stance on the topic, which is there is no gear-based matchmaking currently. And personally, after losing a bunch of gear, my salty brain was saying the same thing. Why do I always keep dying to other geared players when I've got gear? So to take some of the emotion out of it, I played Estella Montes and recorded 100 player encounters, 50 enemy players while using free kits, and 50 enemy players while using custom kits. When I streamed this experiment, someone asked, why would Embark lie about it? Why would they lie about the gear-based matchmaking? My response was this: I've played other games, Destiny, where the developer says something that this thing is turned on or turned off. We didn't do this. This is not coded like this. But then after a huge community can gather data, people go, actually, something looks like it's up here. And then Destiny and Bungie go, oh, actually, you were right. So there could be something that gear-based matchmaking is accidentally turned on. Another possibility is how extremely vague Embark is around the statement around gear-based matchmaking. And previously, they did silently test duo matchmaking. They didn't tell anyone they were going to do it. They just turned it on because they wanted to gather data. And I think that's incredibly good. And I much prefer they actually do things in silent and get data before people know what they're doing and maybe influence that data. But it could be that too. It could be that originally it was not turned on and now they turned it on and they wanted to get data. So that's kind of why I was interested in getting some hard numbers, free kits versus custom kits. Now, there is a bit of lead up to giving you the results. So if you want to just skip to the results, that's fine. If you understand what gear-based matchmaking is and you don't care about how I gather the data, just skip to the results. The chapters will be down below. Otherwise, I'm going to take you through step by step. A like and a comment would be greatly appreciated, because after spending like 8 hours in Stella Montes, just literally PvPing, it started to feel like a fever dream. Go out there and tell me where he is, my friend. Crawl out there. Go. He's coming for you.
Something tells me he's in this corner.
First off, if you're new to the idea of gear-based matchmaking, let me briefly explain how this works. In other extraction games, not all of them, but some of them, the game will give your gear a score based on how good that gear is. Each item would have an inherent value that contributes to your gear score. Just to make up some numbers and some examples, let's just say in Arc Raiders, a green shield is worth 50 points, a blue shield is worth 100 points, and a purple shield is worth 200 points. Typically, the more powerful the gear is, the greater the gear score value. The game would do this for every item in the game that you're taking into a match. So this would also include all the healing items you take, all the throwables you take. Trigger nades would probably have a high value because they are incredibly good, both PvP and PvE. The developers would then set some matchmaking brackets based on your overall gear score. Players with a value of 1,000 or less would be prioritized to be matched together. Players with a score of 1,000 to 2,000 would be matched together, and so on. The strictness of the matchmaking could also vary. Like, some games make it really strict. So you basically, if you've got a free kit, you are never going to see a custom kit. And other games, a little bit more looser, and it's just a priority queue. So if you have a free kit, you're mostly going to see free kits and occasionally see a custom kit. Overall, the idea of gear-based matchmaking is if you go in geared, you're going to fight other geared players. If you go in with a free kit, you're going to fight lower geared players. So with this in mind, what would be our predictions if gear-based matchmaking was actually in Arc Raiders? The reason I decided to test on Stella Montes was because of how much PvP there was, and so it's much quicker to gather data compared to other maps. And also, there was already a predictable pattern on Stella Montes compared with other maps. Anyone who's played Stella Montes would probably agree, almost always, I think nearly everyone will agree, there are a lot of free loadouts on Stella Montes. There are numerous. And personally, I also was kind of interested in the percentage of people running free loadouts on Stella Montes. So even regardless of what the results presented, I kind of was interested in knowing how many people are running free loadouts on Salamontis. In my mind, if we saw a high percentage of custom loadouts, so it's breaking the pattern already of Salamontis, because we kind of predicted there'll be lots of free loadouts, but if we went in with a custom loadout and we saw lots of other custom loadouts, and especially in comparison with running a free loadout, that to me would indicate there was some form of gear-based matchmaking. Or we would need to find a really good reason to why we're encountering so many custom loadouts on a map that typically has a lot of free loadouts. So how did I collect the data for all this? Well, I did it all solo during the day, no other map conditions, and obviously on Salamontis. I alternated between running free kits and running a custom kit. The reason why I tried to alternate between them is sometimes in extraction shooters, the time of day where you play impacts how sweaty players are. I don't know about you, but like Oceania servers at 1 a.m. in the morning are sweat lords. Like, people are running typically better gear. Sometimes during the day, it's much quieter, a lot more ratty players, a lot more free loadouts. So I tried to alternate what I was running just in case, I stream for 8 hours and we're in a different time zone by that time. And then, it impacts the results. I also tried to run the best gear I could for the custom tests, basically having an epic weapon each time. I pretty much cleared out my entire stash of epic weapons. I sacrificed it for this video because I wanted to make sure if there was a bracket, if there was gear matchmaking, that I was in the highest bracket possible, and that might show some discrepancies in the results. Finally, how did I actually confirm if players were using a free kit versus using a custom kit? Well, there was nothing fancy about working out what kit they were running. Basically, you shoot someone, loot their body, and if they had the actual augment for the free kit, then they'll be coded as a free kit runner. If you killed someone else, then looted their body and they had a custom kit loadout, then they'd be coded as a custom kit. Now, the issue is if you looted a body and there was nothing on them, meaning someone has either taken the free kit or someone has taken their custom kit. And surprisingly, people were taking these free kits. I guess they were taking them to then trade later to get a custom kit. So if they had no augment on them, I actually counted them as nothing. They were neither free or a custom. With one exception, if I then looted a body nearby, and often in Salamontis there were multiple bodies, if there was a body nearby and it had a free kit on it and it also had a custom augment on it, I would then count both of them, right? I would say, okay, well, this free kit was probably from this guy, so that's a count for one free kit, and we'll allocate this custom augment to this guy. So for the most part, most of the data was just confirming the augments on player bodies, and if there was nothing, then not counting anything. There was another way that I did things, and this is usually if I got like stomped early in the match and I got killed by a weapon that was a level 4 weapon. I'm very, very positive, and I hope this is correct. I don't think I've ever seen a level 4 weapon drop from in the game, like just from a breach and search or from somewhere else. Like, I think if someone has a level 4 weapon, they've actually brought it in on a custom kit. Now, the issue is if someone looted that body, looted a level 4 weapon off a dead body, and you've already counted that body as a custom kit, and now you're doing 1 point for custom, and then you get killed by level 4 and you do another point for custom. It didn't happen often, and I tried to keep it to when I was murdered in the first minute of spawning in, and I hadn't checked any bodies yet, and I died to someone using a level 4 weapon. As okay, they were on a custom kit. I'm going to count that as a custom kit. That is how I collected data, and I did that until I had around 50 on running a free kit and had 50 interactions on running a custom kit. Okay, so what were the results? When I took a free kit in, I interacted, I looted, I confirmed 52 total players. Of those 52 total players, the amount of people who were confirmed as using a free kit was 35, giving us a percentage of 67%. And the amount of people using a custom kit was 17, giving us a percentage of 33%. So when I went in with a free loadout, the lobby was 67% were free and 33% were custom kits. when I went in with a custom kit, so like an epic gun, usually an epic shield or at least a medium shield, blah, 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 trying to bump up my bracket as much as possible. If there was a bracket, we encountered 53 players, so pretty close to the 52. I just happened to kill like more people in that final round, so I got over 50. And what did it like? The amount of free kits that I encountered was 33 out of 53, giving us a percentage of 62%. 62%. And the custom kits that we encountered, custom was 20 out of 53, giving us a 38% chance. So, as you can see, oh, you can't see because I've written it right behind my, sorry, this is 62%, right? 62 and 38 on the custom, 67 and 33 on the free. Incredibly close. I'm very, very confident in saying Embark was not lying. There is no gear-based matchmaking. These are so close together. You would assume this data is from the same pool, the same type of matchmaking. If I saw, you know, something crazy here for the custom kits, like 60% of players having a custom kit on Stellamontes, I'll be like, something's up. If I saw this, something like 90% of players on the free kit, I'll be like, something might be up here. But they are so incredibly close, I don't think there is any gear-based matchmaking, at least on solo Stellamontes, no conditions. So with this knowledge, why does it still feel like you go in geared and you fight geared players? Well, from doing this for so long, I can give you some observations. Firstly, you survive longer with custom kits in a single round. You get through those free kits more. You defeat 1, 2, 3, 4 free kits, and then finally you find that custom kit that's on the map, that 35% that's on the map. You encounter them and you have a battle, and maybe you lose all your gear, right? And so it feels like I've lost against the custom kit. Feels like there's more custom kits. It's not really more custom kits on the map. Still same percentage regardless of what gear you take in. It's just you're getting to the custom kits quicker. I had to complete more free kits to get more data than custom kits, right? I could do a match with a custom kit and see 3 bodies on the floor and then kill another 3 people, and then I've got 6 data points already. And then finally get to a custom person and then get another data point. On a free kit, I might die in the first minute and then have to restart, and then die again and restart. So I think what was happening for me anyway is you survive longer on the custom kits, and then that increases your chances of encountering the other custom kits on the map, and then you die to them. You're like, oh man, I'm just fighting geared guys all the time. The other thing I think happens is just emotionally losing gear hurts more, and you remember it more, and you get more salty about it, and so it always feels like you're fighting other geared players because you're using it. And you also play differently. That's the third thing. You do play differently using a custom kit. I actually play more aggressively rather than more passively, and so you put yourself in positions where maybe you actually seek out those fights. The conclusion. Strangely, this experience has changed my mindset on Stellamontes. There was always this cloud over my head like, is it worth taking in gear? I mean, I don't think it's worth taking in gear just because of the way the spawns are and how many free kits you have to fight, but it's definitely not harder. You're not disadvantaging yourself by taking in gear. You're not putting yourself into a bracket where you're only going to fight geared players. And that's kind of nice to know. It's also kind of nice to know that, like, when you take gear in, like 65% of the other players are going to be using free kits, and 35% of the players are going to be using custom kits. There you go. A like and a comment would be greatly appreciated, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, someone's at my door. Bye-bye.